Okay, so I'm Paul, I'm the Board Game Nut. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where I'm talking about board games, card games and miniature games. So I'm going to teach you how to play Alien Frontiers. Maybe you've watched my review, you've watched someone else's review, or you've just heard about the game. You want to have a look at it, see how it plays. And that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about this game and how to play it. So bear with me, I'll just get the game set up. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the game set up now. We're just playing a 2-player version. So I've got my starting colonies and 2 players. We start with 8. We start with 3 ships or dice. I'm going to be throwing to them as ships. I've got a starting technology, which is just randomly drawn from the Alien Tech card deck up there. So with that, you just shuffle them up, deal 1 to every player. That's their starting tech. Quite nice, makes it a little bit asymmetrical. This is the scoreboard track. So the idea of the game is to get these little colonies onto the board over there. I'm going to come back to the board in a sec. But at the moment someone places their last colony, that triggers the end of the game, and wherever you are on the point track, at the end of the game, that's it, the game ends. The expansion added some extra bits and pieces into it, but I'm not doing that today. I'm just doing the base game. I'll probably do a separate video of the expansion. So as soon as it's a worker placement game, I thought we'd have a quick look at the board and all the different spots they do, but that's it all set up. So just bear with me. So best place to start really on the board is over there on solar converter. So on your if you look at as well, we've got all these little spots that are covered. These little spots here, this is because we're playing a 2-player game, and the board's quite good. If it's got 2 dots or 3 dots, that means that those spots are covered. In a 3-player game, we're just in a 4-player game we don't cover anything. In a 3-player game we'd cover that one. The 2-player game we covered that one, and the same's happening down here. So in a 3-player game we just cover 1. In a 2-player game we cover another 1. It just sort of cuts some of the board off a little bit, makes it a little bit better to play. So like here, the colony constructor, here, you know, we don't cover it in a 4-player or 3-player game. In the 2-player game, we cover one of those spots up. And then you've got down here as well on the lunar mine, it does the same thing. So in a 2-player game, you're covering some of those spots up. So let's have a look. Let's go back to... So on your turn, basically, you're rolling your 3 ships. You're rolling your dice, your ships, and then you get to place those dice out on the board. So starting over here, if the solar converter, that's the best place to get fuel. So if I place one of my dice here that's a 1 or a 2, I'd get 1 fuel. If I place a 3 or a 4, I'd get 2 fuel. 5 or a 6, I'll get 3 fuel. So that's your main place on the board to get fuel. You can place up to 7 ships can be there. Obviously, if there's 7 ships there or 8 ships there from bigger game, I can't go there. It's that worker placement game type, isn't it? Here, the orbital market. So this is the orbital market here. Whenever you see the equal sign, the dice must be the same. So the orbital market's quite an unusual spot. If I place a double 1, for instance, so I place a double 1 there, I could change fuel for ore on a 1-to-1 ratio, because that's what the 1s mean. If it is the question mark, if it is 3, I could change 3 fuel for 1 ore, or 6 fuel if I had a double 6 for 1 ore. So you want to go there when you've got low numbers, really. The alien artifact spot next to it, that's going to focus in, there we go. This is where you get your extra alien tech cards. So you've got some alien tech cards up there, look. And when I go here on the alien artifact up, if I place 2 cards, which here, this is like a little equal sign, 2 cards together that equal 8, I can take a new technology. Or I can place 1 dice of any type, because of that, 1 dice of any type, and I can discard all the alien tech cards and draw 3 new ones. next spot next to that is the Raiders outpost. Here I have to put a sequential run of numbers. So if I placed 2, 3 and 4 for instance on my go, if I placed a 2, 3 and a 4 on my go, I could do a couple of things. I could steal technology off someone else, or I could steal up to 3 resource of other players, so fuel and ore. In a 3 or 4 player game I can steal them off as many people as I want. So I could take an ore from player 1, an ore and a fuel from player 2, and a remaining ore from player 3 if that's what I wanted. This is a really cool spot on the board as well. So the sequential run of numbers there of 2, 3 and 4 can be replaced by a higher run of numbers. So I could come along with 4, 5 or 6 and I would replace the numbers, and then again I'd get to activate the Raiders outpost. You can also steal a technology off someone. So you can steal resources or technology. And the dice that I just picked up, they'd get moved and they'd get put on the maintenance bay. They get put on the maintenance bay there. So bear with me, I'm going to come back to that in a sec. I'm also going to come back to some other bits and bobs, but it's making our way around the board at the moment. So next thing to show you is the Lunar Mine. So Lunar Mine, this is where you collect ore. I place a die here, I collect an ore from the supply. If I place, the next die I place must be equal to or higher than the last roll. So I place a 5, then I place a 6, you know, or I could place a 4, 4, 6, or I could have placed 6, 6. I can't do that. Could do that. So that's where you get your ore from. The colony constructor, which is next. Here I have to place a triple. So a triple like 6, 6 or 2, 2, whatever. Play 3 ore, pay 3 ore, and then I can place a colony out on the board. Remember, colony is how you win the game. You get all your colonies out. That's how you win the game. Colonist hub here. Place any number of. I've got 1 run for each player, so I can place any numbers of dice here, and I'd get to move 3 spots up the board here with one of my colonies. I get to move 3 spaces. On my next turn, I place another 3. I move another 3. On my next turn after that, I place 1 dice here, just 1. Move to the final spot, pay an ore and a fuel, and I get to place my colony on the board. A couple of more spots to show you. So we got the shipyard. This is how you build extra ships. So, but here I have to place a double of any type. So I'm going to place double 6. I pay an ore and a fuel, and I get my full ship. Next time, to get my 5th ship, I pay 2 ore and 2 fuel. Turn after that, it's 3 fuel and 3 ore. That's how I get my 6th ship. Once you start building your ships, you can use the terraforming station. So with the terraforming station, I have to place 6. I pay an ore and a fuel, and I get to place a colony on the board. But at the beginning of my turn, instead of retrieving that dice gets removed. So on your turn, basically, sum up a little bit. You roll the dice. You choose where you're going on the board. Zoom back out again. You choose where you're going. So with the 2 and the 4, I might already have an ore. So I might go up here, collect fuel. I've already got an ore, and I can put my double 4 here, pay my ore and the fuel, and I'd get my full ship. These on over here, and I place my full ship on the maintenance bay. That stays like that. Blue has their go. Blue rolls their dice. They've got a 3, 5 and a 6. That's a little bit annoying. I can't really do a lot. But say they've got a tech card, I'm going to come back to that in a minute, where they can add a point to this dice, making it a 4. And then they go over here, the Raiders outpost, and they steal my technology or something. And then on my turn, I pick up my 4 dice this time, and I roll my dice. Okay, so that's all your little spots around the area on the board. Let's have a look at what happens when you start placing your guys on the board. when you place your colony out on the board, you get control of one of the areas. So I put my little colony down there. These nice little tokens, you pick them up, and it gives you an advantage for each of the different board sections. So if I'm on the Asimov crater, I get to move my colonist when I use the colonist hub, which is here. It's a little bit awkward, sorry about that. So if I take control of the Asimov crater there, when I place 2 dice here, instead of just moving 2 along, I get an additional move. So I get to move for 3, which is quite cool, because next time I can play 3 dice. I'd already be here, but I get to move 4 spots along. So if you control the Asimov crater, the first one, or you have the majority in that area, you get to move additional spots on the colonist hub. If you have the Herbert Valley, if you place your colony down on the Herbert Valley, this one means that you pay 1 less fuel and 1 less ore when you build in the shipyard. Lem Badlands, that gives you an additional fuel each time you place a ship down there, is it? Yeah, each ship you place at the solar converter gives you additional fuel. The Hainan Plains, which I think is really powerful, is you always get a 1-for-1 ratio when using the orbital market. Remember the orbital market up there. When you use the Hainan Plains, so I could put a double 3 up there and I'm still getting 1 fuel for 1 ore. You got the Pooh foothills, or the Pole foothills, these ones, which means that you pay 1 less fuel than normal on each of your alien tech cards. The Vongot Mountains means that the first ship you dock at the lunar mine each turn may be of any value. Remember how I was saying down here on the lunar mine that you must always place a high number? Well, let's just say blue's here. Because I've got control of the Vongot Mountains, I can place 1 dice per turn can be lower, but then my next dice has to be equal to or higher than one that's already been that turn, so it could be a 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever. And then you've got the Bradbury Plateau. When you place a colony down there, you take these as a reminder as well, which is quite nice. I pay 1 less ore than normal when using the colony constructor. So instead of having to pay 3 ore, remember to use the colony constructor, I only pay 2. And then you've got the Burrows Desert, which is the last spot on the board. Which is this one, which is going to give you an extra ship that you can use each turn. So that's all the spots on the board, that's how that works. I'm just going to go for a little basic rundown of some of the other bits and pieces you can do on your turn. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how the VP track works over here, and how that correlates to colonies going out on the board. So let's say I've rolled my dice on my turn. I've used the colonist hub over there. Do you remember I get to move my thing along? So let's just say I put 3 dice there. I'm already on that spot there. So I go 1, 2, 3. I paid my ore and my fuel. So I now get to place the colony on the board. And what I'm going to do is, I don't like that the blue player is getting the bonus from the Pole foothills. So I'm going to place my colony down there. Now a couple of things happen here. I get 1 VP for putting a colony on the board, but blue player is losing a VP because he lost control of having the mainstay of the colonies in the territories. So basically, I'm scoring 2 VPs for this territory because each time you place a colony down, you get 1 VP, but you have the majority of the colonies in an area, you get an additional VP. So let's say, again, I get to place one of my colonies down. I'll place it back down here. I get a VP for placing a colony. And I now get an additional VP for that territory there because I have the majority of the colonies in the area. So I get an additional VP. So that's how the VP track works. It's a snapshot of the current VP. Sometimes it gets a little bit heavy, especially in a 4-player game. So you might just sort of want to take a quick count up, and it's quite easy to do. You count the number of colonies you've got, how many areas you have the majority in. That gives you total VPs at the current time. So that's how the VP board works. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a few more key concepts about this game, really, and then you'll be ready to rock and roll. So on your turn, I've accumulated 5 ships now, so I'm rolling 5 ships. Now, if you look, I'm kind of looking at my dice here, looking at what I can do on my turn, looking at my tech cards. I can pay 2 fuel to move 1 point from one of your unplaced ships to another, which is pretty nice. So because I have control of the pole foothills, I pay 1 less fuel than normal, so that's only cost me 1 fuel. On my turn, I use each technology. I can use each of my technologies once. So I tap that card, I pay 1 fuel, and I can move a point of 1 dice to another. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to remove that 1 to make that a 4, which is kind of cool because that gives me a double. So I could use that double, especially on the orbital market. That would be quite good. I could, you know, with this technology, it says I can pay 1 fuel to subtract 1 point from one of your unplaced ships. Of course, I've got the pole photos. I have to pay that. So I could tap that. I can turn that into a 5. So now my duck goes looking pretty good. So I can use, what I'm going to do is, I know that player 2 over there, they've got loads of fuel. And I've got loads of fuel. So I'm going to use the 4, 5 and 6 over on the Raiders outpost over there. 4, 5 and 6, you see, nicking all their fuel. And then I'm going to use my double 1 on the orbital market, using the 1-for-1 exchange. And I'm going to have 7, I'm going to have 6 fuel. I'm going to discard it all and get 6 ore. So that's kind of quite how the game becomes quite mathy. There's lots of different things you can do on your turn once you get these technologies going. At the end of your turn, you have to discard down to 8 resources. So you can only ever have 8 resources in any combination. So you could have 7 fuel, 1 ore, 7 ore, 1 fuel, or any 8 ore or 8 fuel, whatever, but only 8 at a time. And then another little concept of the game is I've picked these technologies out because they all give me access to these 3 funky buildings. So we've got the positron field, the repulsion field, or the isolation field. So this one, for instance, if we can get a good focus on it. So this alien tech card, it's got 2 abilities. So it's got the first bit there where it says pay 2 fuel to move 1 point from one of my ships to another, or discard this card, which means remove from play, to place the R on any territory, or remove R to a different territory. And the R is the repulsion field. This is a little repulsion field marker just to tell you what it does. And this one says no one may add or remove colonies. So all I'd do is I'd discard that on my turn, and then I'd put this little funky thing out on the map. So I put it over there, meaning no one else can add or remove colonies from that section of the board until that's gone. And then we've got the P, which is the positron field. So again, with this technology card, I could discard it to place the P on any territory. And the P, which is this green little ship here, green little thing, I know this is +1 VP to the one who controls this territory. So again, I'll pop that down there. That's going to give me an additional VP. And then we've got the last one, which is the isolation field. Again, this one's discard this card to place the isolation field on a territory or move it to a different one. And the isolation field is no one may use this territory's bonus. And again, that's the isolation field. Obviously, I'm not going to do it there because I've got a nice little combo going now, I think. So I'm going to stick it on this player here. So they're no longer getting the bonus from the Henline Plains. So that's all. I pretty much think that's everything you need to know about this game. I'll just do a quick summary now. Okay, well, that was pretty much everything you need to know about this game. Just remember, on your turn, you roll your ships, you put them out on the board, they stay there until your next turn when you pick them up. So they're blocking the spots on the board you leave behind for other people. You know, they've got to go where you aren't, except obviously for the Raiders outpost. So yeah, I'm just trying to think, is there anything I've left out? No, not really. I mean, if you've just, you know, if there's a couple of things you might have to check the rule book for, but I think I've pretty much got it down there for you. You've definitely got a good explanation of the game now, so like most of my videos, I think they're quite handy, especially, you know, if you're commuting back from work or whatever on the train, or, you know, on a bus. Pop out your little smartphone, get home, crack open Alien Frontiers, everything I've told you in the video, you should be able to just crack on and play it now. I hope that's helped. Of course, I've been the Board Game Nut. It's me. Hope you enjoyed my video. Check out the rest of my stuff. Thanks very much. Bye.